Have you ever met someone who is wrong, but they're wrong with such incredible confidence that for a second, you start to doubt yourself? You know the type. You say, the sky is blue, and they say, actually, it's an atmospheric Rayleigh scattering of a specific wavelength, but only at certain times of day, and you're just like, okay man, whatever you say. Now imagine that person is a supercomputer you can talk to, and it's helping you with your job, your health, and your money. That, my friends, is the new world we're living in with AI. It's a world with a huge confidence gap, and it's a trap we are all walking into with our eyes wide open because it feels so good. So what is this confidence gap? It's simple, really. It's the massive difference between how people talk when they're unsure and how AI talks when it's unsure. When a person isn't certain about something, we have all these little tells. We say things like, I think, I might be wrong, but don't quote me on this. We basically put up a little yellow caution flag for everyone to see. AI, on the other hand, almost never does that. It delivers every single answer, whether it's brilliantly right or hilariously wrong, with the same booming, self-assured voice of a game show host announcing the grand prize. This isn't just a funny little quirk of technology. It's a serious issue. This gap in delivery can fundamentally change what people believe and, more importantly, what they do based on that belief. It's the difference between a friend saying, I think this mushroom is safe to eat, and a robot voice declaring, this fungus is 100% edible and a good source of vitamin D. One of those makes you pause and maybe check Google, and the other might send you to the emergency room. Over the next few minutes, we're going to break down why this happens and give you a clear, simple plan to avoid falling for the AI confidence game. Think of it like this. You're at a party and you need directions to the bathroom. You ask two people. One person scratches their head and says, I think it's down that hall. Second door on the left? Maybe. The other person, without even looking up from their phone, just points and says, down the hall, second door on the left. You're probably going to trust the second person more, right? Let's start with a classic trivia night question. You ask a friend, what year was the Treaty of Westphalia signed? They might pause and look up at the ceiling.
I want to say 1648, maybe late 1640s. I remember it from a history class, but don't hold me to it.
Notice the beautiful symphony of doubt. They give you their best guess, but also hand you a big red flag. This is not a verified fact. They're helpful without being reckless. Now, the office. You ask a coworker, what's the default port for LDAPs?
I'm pretty sure it's 636, but I always double check, because I mix it up with 389 for regular LDAP.
Fantastic answer. Correct info plus a safety process. They teach you to be cautious. Collaborative intelligence keeps businesses secure. Finally, a health question. You ask a fitness enthusiast neighbor, is it safe to take ibuprofen on blood pressure meds? A responsible neighbor puts the brakes on.
Oh, I've heard that can be an issue, but you absolutely have to ask a pharmacist or your doctor. I'm not a medical professional. I don't want to give bad info.
They refuse to answer and point you to an expert. This is the gold standard of responsible ignorance. They recognize the stakes and step away. Yeah, but what if that confident answer points you to a broom closet? AI is that second person, every single time, and we need to learn how to spot the broom closets. Now, let's pivot to our new robot overlords. You ask an AI the same kinds of questions, and you get a completely different experience. There's no hemming and hawing, there's no self-doubt. It's just pure, unadulterated confidence, served up hot and fresh, even when the information is completely stale or just flat-out wrong. The AI speaks with the authority of a tenured professor, the precision of a surgeon, and the conviction of a cult leader. And that's precisely what makes it so convincing and, at times, so dangerously misleading. It doesn't know what it doesn't know, but it will tell you anyway. Let's try that history question again, but with a twist. You ask the AI, what year did Portugal join NATO?
Portugal joined NATO in 1955 as part of the first wave of expansion after the original founding members.
The only problem is that it's completely wrong. Portugal was a founding member of NATO in 1949. The AI just made up a plausible-sounding fact and delivered it as gospel. How about a technical question? You ask, what's the maximum password length in Microsoft's Active Directory?
The AI might fire back. The maximum password length in Active Directory is 256 characters.
But it's not the whole truth. The user interface in many standard Windows tools caps it at 128 characters. Let's try one more. You ask the AI, is NIST 871 required for all US government contractors?
The AI replies with a firm and simple yes. This is a massive oversimplification that could cost a small business a fortune.
In reality, this rule primarily applies to contractors who handle a specific type of data called controlled unclassified information. A small business providing, say, landscaping services to a federal building probably doesn't need to worry about it. The AI's helpful answer just created a huge, unnecessary headache. Here's where it gets even weirder. After the AI gives you a confidently wrong answer, you can call it out. And when you do, something bizarre happens. It just flips instantly. It abandons its previous deeply held conviction without a second thought. It then agrees with you, often with a polite, slightly robotic apology. The AI went from definitively 1955 to you are absolutely correct 1949 in a single sentence. There was no internal struggle. It just switched tracks as if the previous answer never existed. Massive red flag. It was just a performance. That can be good. The AI is correctable. You're not stuck in an ego-driven argument with your laptop, but it's deeply unsettling, because it reveals the AI has no underlying conviction or understanding. It's not weighing evidence, it's generating text it thinks you want. The AI isn't seeking truth, it's seeking a satisfactory response. That immediate backpedal is one of your best tools for sniffing AI nonsense. If you feel doubt about an answer, challenge it. Reason 1. There is no I don't know circuit. Large language models are, at their core, prediction engines. They don't have a built-in meter for certainty. Most training data, textbooks, Wikipedia, news articles, is written in a confident, declarative tone. Reason 2. Training rewards helpfulness, which often looks like confidence. An answer that is long, detailed, and sounds authoritative might get a higher score. Reason 3. The AI has no ego to protect. When you provide a correction, it treats your input as new, high-priority data and adjusts accordingly. Finally, there's sycophancy. Models being overly agreeable, sometimes endorsing a user's incorrect beliefs. This might all sound like a fun academic exercise, but the consequences of the confidence gap are very real and can be very damaging. When we start integrating these confident but clueless systems into our work, our businesses, our daily lives, the potential for harm escalates dramatically. A small error, delivered with the booming voice of absolute authority, can ripple outwards, causing problems with money, security, people's well-being. The stakes are much higher than we think. Imagine a junior analyst using an AI to help build a pitch deck. The AI confidently spits out a chart showing a 50% year-over-year growth. The company presents it to investors. But what if that number was made up? The deal might fall apart during due diligence. In cybersecurity, a security engineer asks an AI to generate a patch script. The AI returns a clean-looking block of code. Pressed for time, it gets deployed across hundreds of servers. The code contains a subtle flaw, which opens a new backdoor for attackers. A failed audit or data breach could be the result. In law and health, an AI might confidently misinterpret a statute or give jurisdictionally wrong guidance. A person acting on that could waive rights or miss deadlines. The human who says, "I'm not sure, ask a professional," is infinitely more trustworthy. Alright, so we've established that AI is a confident liar, a sycophant, has no ego, and sounds like a terrible employee. But it's also incredibly fast and can be a powerful tool when used correctly. The trick isn't to abandon AI altogether, it's to get smarter about how we use it. We need new habits and workflows that harness AI speed while protecting us from its biggest weakness. The good news, it's not that hard. First, never ever trust an AI answer by default. This is the golden rule. Treat every AI response as a first draft, not a final verified fact. For anything that matters, date, statistic, line of code, policy, verify against a primary source, an official document, a reputable website, an academic paper, an actual human expert. Second, push back on purpose. Ask, are you sure? What is your source? Can you explain that in a different way? If it can't cite or cites fakes, huge red flag. Third, reappreciate human hedging. I think this is the answer, but let me double check, is intellectual honesty and professional diligence. Reward it. Finally, train your skepticism. The more polished and confident an AI answer sounds, the more you should question it. Workflow. Get draft. Verify key facts with 2 reliable sources. Edit for tone and accuracy. Only then use it. This workflow can save you from a world of trouble. So, here we are, at the end of it all, left with a beautiful, almost poetic irony. On one side, you have us, humans. We are often filled with doubt even when we know what we're talking about. We're afraid to speak up, we second-guess ourselves, and we hedge our statements. We possess real knowledge but often lack the confidence to express it. We are, in many ways, too cautious for our own good. On the other side, you have the machine. Artificial intelligence. It has access to nearly the entire sum of human text, but understands none of it. It possesses no real knowledge, only statistical patterns, and yet, it speaks with the unwavering, thunderous confidence of a god. It doubts nothing. It is never uncertain. It will state a complete falsehood with the same conviction it uses to state a fundamental truth. It is all confidence and no comprehension. The AI is a powerful tool that is too certain for its own good, and for ours. The safest path forward doesn't involve choosing one over the other. It involves striking a delicate balance. Use AI for what it's good at. Generating ideas, summarizing text, providing a fast first draft. Rely on humans for applying judgment, understanding context, verifying facts and knowing when to say, wait a minute, let's double check that. We must learn to be more confident in our own human doubt, that hesitation, that urge to verify. That's not a bug. It's our most important feature. It's the very thing that can keep us safe in an age of artificial certainty. The future isn't about trusting AI more. It's about learning to trust our own skepticism again. Takeaway. Treat AI as a fast intern, not a final oracle. If you got value out of this, hit subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.